Well, here we are again with another Zero Retrospective, which gets a bit personal, and it's just really, yeah, that's, for me, this is, I was debating doing this, like, afterwards, if, like, after Game Childhood, as, I was gonna do this, like, as a part two, like a follow-up, but, I decided against it, and just, like, this is let's talk about my overall experience like in gaming in general and like how it was back when I was little because and to how I am now because it really to this day it still like affects me because and I'm about to get into it but it's like when you're like young and you're passionate about something and then you like you like something so much and you're passionate about it and you're like I want to keep doing this like when I grow up I want to do something like that's that's gonna be like in this field and whatnot and that make me like keep enjoying this more. I was like that. Just imagine like a younger me. Oh, never mind. I go picture right there, but yeah, weird seeing me younger. But anywho, me when I was younger, that was what I was thinking all throughout like when I was growing up. Like I want to make my own video game, and then oh god, then it came to a head like back in I say fifth grade, somewhere around that. Cause I ended up like, cause at the time like my brother he wrote a letter to Namco Bandai because they weren't Namco Bandai at the time they were Bandai because his copy of Digimon World 3 stopped working and he wanted another copy and basically I thought like around the same thing. Like I should just write my ideas down. And he also like wrote like some ideas down for like a sequel or whatnot. But I thought the same thing. I was like, you know what? I should do like this with another game. And I basically and I swear to God, like I'm pretty sure someone's gonna be laughing. One of the games I ended up like writing ideas down for was like new Super Smash Brothers because Melee was so hot at the time. Like there was that Brawl didn't come out yet until like Brawl wouldn't be out like teased until like well not teased like announced to like next year 2006 and I was just writing down like ideas of what to have like what items to have, what characters to have, because like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I want to have Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like you pick a Yu-Gi-Oh card up, and then like the monster would. They basically work like Pokeballs, like where the monster would, the monster from the card would show up and attack and whatnot, and then added like Sonic and whatnot because everybody wanted Sonic in there. Like even back in Melee, they wanted Sonic in there. And we got our wish in Brawl, so good, ain't much there. And this one was pretty goddamn obvious, but I was right. I wrote down ideas for like Power Stone 30, and one of them, two things I remember about that was because I really love Power Stone. Like I really love Power Stone 2, and I was really upset that like my copy stopped working for like the Dreamcast because we finally got like I think another used Dreamcast and we were just playing like our old Dreamcast games on it and Power Stone 2 just stopped working and I was upset about that. But anywho, the two things I wrote down was to have the evil Power Stone, which was like the major focus in Power Stone 2, like the Dark Power Stone, that was gonna that was gonna be an item like where if you pick it up, you would like go to your super form, but you wouldn't be able to control it. It'd kind of be like anti-form Sora and Kingdom Hearts 2, like where he was like a consequence of using the the driver forms too much. Like that's what be happen. That will happen. Like it would be like a punishment if you like surely like if all you ever did was like keep going after the Power Stones like as soon as they came out, like just back to back. And then speaking of Power Stones, I want to have like each character get like another form. They like a second form where like after you get to 3 Power Stones, you get like 3 more again, and just get like a second form and whatnot, and other abilities. And yeah, those were like 2 ideas that I was just wrote down, and then I was like, I'm gonna make it someday, and then it reached I'd say 7th, 8th grade around that time, where my brother ended up like he got into like writing his stories. He basically did like a story around like his friends, and I was in it, so I was like a wolf demon in the story, and he was like a mage or whatnot, and it got me into like writing my own story, and oh my god, my writing sucks, and it probably still does, but it was just. I'm not gonna lie. It was I basically like took like the concept of like Kingdom Hearts really, and because I like it was named Gate of Destiny, and I'm like, and I literally wrote in like an author's note like it was gonna play like Kingdom Hearts. It was gonna be like an action RPG, and then it was the whole because I did just I did have a list like of music, the songs to use, and that was oh boy it got worse like in the later years because it was what was it? Because I ended up doing like 3 more, and I was because one was another. I did another one based on Tales of Vespera. I know I did that one, and another one on Tales of Grace because the whole night thing. Even though I haven't played Tales of Grace at the time, I did like a night thing, and another one based on Disgaea, basically Disgaea 1 and 3 at the time because I basically used like a Demon Academy and whatnot, and I did like a Overlord type thing with the first one. Oh my God, yes, I like it. Don't judge me. I was young, okay. Just I didn't know any better. And copyright. Oh boy, I know it's okay to get like to use them as influence, but like it just really felt like I was just trying really hard to like make it seem like that. I learned my lesson now. Like I would like change a hell of a lot of things if I ever got back to like writing or whatnot. And oh, and also I think one was Birth by Sleep, definitely. 2 was like Birth by Sleep prequels where they end up like the story ended up like having like intersecting plots or whatnot. So yeah, that was I'm good. I'm just gonna stop now. But you wonder like what does all this have to do with like Gaming Zero? And I'm gonna tell you about that rhetorical asking question, viewer. And that was I was really set on this, and it wasn't. I was like, I want to do this. This is something I want to do, and it wasn't until like later when just like what's the best I could describe it? Like it's 2011. Like no, it was before that. When See, that was the thing at the time. Like, okay, Nintendo introduced like motion controls with the Wii. They introduced motion controls, even though like Sony tried that with the iToy not too long ago. Like, let's not forget that. I'll give credit where credit's due. I know my gaming history, but yeah, so Nintendo did that, and that sparked a wave with Sony and Microsoft. Like, oh, like it's not good. Motion controls not gonna work, and then they saw the money with it, and they was like, oh, okay, motion controls is the way of the future. Let's all do motion controls, and we all know how that turned out. We all do, and then it was just, oh my god, 2011. I swear that was the year where I was just turned off of for two reasons. One, because of the whole mobile gaming is the way of the future craze. Oh my god, that was really really stupid. It was really stupid. And two, and the second reason is like a bit personal because yeah, because at this time, like, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Like you know, I didn't know like what college I wanted to go to, and because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to gaming, and I was like, what part of gaming? And then I was like, I'll find out, and then I ended up applying for the UAT, the University of Advanced Technology, and I got early accepted. I was like, I'm just gonna go into like, I'm gonna apply to like any college that basically accepted me because I didn't have like a set college in mind, and they were like the first ones to like really early accept me, and they even had like a game developer plan, like a game design plan, and it basically like set out the course and whatnot. And the thing with that was my like our mom ended up telling me like she like how nobody like had the money to afford to get me there, so I couldn't go. So, and that was kind of like a bummer for me because I'm like that was something I wanted to do, but looking back now, I can see like it really didn't change much. I'm like because of like what happened later that same year, because it just started going downhill that exact same year, because that was also the year I started on YouTube again, and you all know why, because Legends 3 got cancelled and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 got announced, and this is where I was at the stage where I was just couldn't take games at face value, because before that I could. Like 2009, 2010, I could like take games like at face value. You know, like I could just buy a game and make sure and know I'm getting my money's worth. But nowadays, no, just no. That's just wasn't possible, and Capcom didn't really help their case because and it was really disheartening because I grew up, Capcom was like a company I grew up with, because how with Mega Man, Beautiful Joe, those two, and Power Stone, can't forget Power Stone, and man, Street Fighter ish, like Street Fighter Third Strike and 2 and all those other games. But yeah, it was really disheartening, and I was just like, because at this time I was like, I thought I only got my like gaming news at E3. Beforehand, my only gaming news came in the form of E3, and I didn't know about that till like 2006. Yeah, 2000, around 2006, and because of, like G4 would do like live streams for it, and I was like, I can't keep. Oh, and Game Informer and Nintendo Power and Electric Game Monthly, those three. But afterwards, like as soon as I reached like a 11th grade, I was like, I can't just keep relying on like E3 to like for these like game announcements. I need to know like everything that's happening. And lo and behold, I found Sakara, and I've been using that ever since. And that's basically where I get my gaming news from. Like in my older videos, I wouldn't shut up about it, and I still won't shut up about it because they literally they talked about like they basically had like every news like most of the news you like probably want to hear, like the development process and like how the devs felt about this or addressing this bug and whatnot. And that was literally led me to like how I am now, to like not judge everything like as face value, make sure I'm getting like my money's worth. And it's just the main point of this was like in the later years, like it just was getting to the point where everybody was aiming for that Call of Duty dollar, and that was because that was like the highest selling game at the time. It still is. It's a high selling franchise, and everybody was just trying to get that Call of Duty dollar like every year, like because Call of Duty is like an annual game. It comes out annually, like each year, and now is basically like is stopping that is trend because of how the sales for the other games has been. So can't really say about anything about Call of Duty because I don't really play it, and I'm not gonna bash people for playing it, like for playing the same game over and over again with just a new coat of paint when you can say the same about anything else except like true sequels and whatnot. And it just got to that point where everybody was just in it for the money and just abandoned like what made it gaming like so great, like just the passion people like developers had for it, like how they wanted the players to and like embrace like their vision, like to see their vision, play through it, enjoy it. And it wasn't even about that anymore. It was just about making a profit and not about the experience. And this is where like Nintendo really shined because at this time, like because good lord, the 3DS launched that year, and God, that was not a funny year. It had a crabby lineup, I will tell you that. Oh boy, I'm glad it get 3DS at that time. But that was like what Nintendo was known for, like the experience, like that was something you could always go for Nintendo for, like that. Like, yeah, it may not have like the best graphics and whatnot, but at least they like Iwata knew like what the gamers wanted, and he gave you what you got your money's worth of a Nintendo game, like compared to like another like AAA game you would get and feel like you got ripped because like it was short, it was half-assed, you didn't the DLC whatnot. And then we reached to the age where we are. This is part like where we are now, where we literally are treating games like that they're actually movies now. It still baffles me to this day. Like I thought we would play games to escape, do things we can't do in reality, instead of like making sure it's like as realistic as possible. Because if I want to see fantasy, I want to see fantasy. Like it doesn't have to be like great detail. For God's sakes, it could look like a fucking anime for my sakes. But apparently people want more realism now, and I'm like, what's really? People got really uppity about graphics, and I'm like, I don't even care. Like you could be like the most 2D thing ever, and as long as you either have like good gameplay or a good story, I will play you because I don't mind graphics. It's always about gameplay and story with me. Like if one's good, and then I'll play it. It's one or the other. And then we my God, it just kept getting worse, especially with like later again. This is DLC because that was like as soon as companies found out like you can like take off like half the game and then like resell it at like at your own price. That's where I felt like it got worse because certain companies did it good, right? Like it was optional. You didn't have to get it, like, but other companies it felt like or to get the complete experience you would need to get the DLC, but it was just and it still to this day does this. And then we also had the half-ass games like Destiny and Watch Dogs and Titanfall and Evolve, and it those were just like the signs of like what the hell's going on. And we could just those are like the games like where we could release these if it like and fans will still buy even half-ass because it is especially Ubisoft like really irking me like with the years to come, like not after what they did with not only with what they did with Rayman, because they said like, oh, Rayman's coming to like these other consoles. It's no longer a Wii exclusive, and then it's like, but the best version of the game is on Wii U. So yeah, and then they end up holding like a Wii U game hostage because the Wii U wasn't really selling well, and they was like, we'll wait till Smash 4 come out, and then we'll release the game. I kid you not. That was literally an interview. Don't like I'm not lying. That literally happened. And yeah, it was just and it was just why did this happen? Like it was more like again with the whole they're only in it for the money type of situations because that's literally all they did it for. And I was like, I know the Wii U wasn't selling, it still wasn't selling well, but the whole game hodges like that was just bad taste, And then like with Unity, they literally released that game like half like buggy as hell, half finished, just like Bungie and Destiny. That wasn't even a complete experience, and they later added DLC to add on to that, and it was just like the moment where like people were buying it anyway because brand recognition, and that's the sad part. Like people will do that because of brand recognition. And like Matt Pat said, like innovation doesn't sell because every time like a series tries to be like a company tries that, like it just doesn't end well. Like the game doesn't sell like to like their expectations, and they end up like shutting the studio down, like they did with the people behind like Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider reboot, and the Hitman reboot. They even though both games did like had commercial success, they end up like laying off people because they didn't meet their expected sales. And don't even get me started with Capcom's expected sales because like that's the exact same year they canceled Legend 3. They went to do like a fucking bizarre sales expectation of like, oh, Resident Evil is expected to sell this much. The new DMC reboot is supposed to sell this much, and it just kept going. And then, like the kicker was Darkstalkers because they end up re-releasing that digitally, and they basically used that to like gauge interest in like a new Darkstalkers game. And because that didn't sell well, we're probably not gonna see a new Darkstalkers game. And That was also another series I got into, and I'm really enjoying right now because the Capcom sale. So yeah, shameless plug-in, shameless. So, but the gist of it was that the companies now are afraid to take risk. Do I need to? I don't think I need to talk about Nintendo because they're the prime example of a fucking safety net, and it's really pissed me off that Nintendo of all people are using a goddamn safety net with that was their entire E3 conference last year. One giant safety net when we had the games. Splatoon opened up that year. Okay, a new IP by Nintendo, and it's
how dare you?
Shut up. And it sold well. And then afterwards, we basically get the equivalent to, yeah, we basically decided no more new IPs, just here's Mario, here's Star Fox, and here's a glimpse of Zelda. Oh, and here go Animal Crossing 2, but it's not the Animal Crossing you want. And also that crossover game that we basically changed, but we're not gonna talk about until it's way down the line, and you are hammered for information about it. Oh, and Xenoblade 2, and yeah, those are the only two new IPs. Like Splatoon and Xenoblade Chronicles come out out of the Wii U's life cycle. Everything else was just oh my god, safety net. It was more of the same, and I got really upset about that. I'm like, okay, Nintendo's gonna show off new games because I think it was the year before they showed off Project Guard and Project Robot, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna announce these two games because that was their thing. They would focus more on the gamepad, and then we get to E3 2015 and we get a whole bunch of games no one asked for, like Mario Maker and the Amiibo Festival, and I'm like, what is this? And it really gets me, Nintendo had something, they just ruined it by playing it safe. And I say the same for the other companies, because Capcom did it too, and with them relying on Street Fighter and Monster Hunter right now, those are their two highest games right now, because Resident Evil was floppy for them after what happened with 6, so not to be surprised. Same with Square Enix, because they literally said, I think it got to the point where they was like, yeah, we're kind of, the thing with them was that they said with the Final Fantasy, they wouldn't make a Final Fantasy VII remake unless there was literally nothing else for them to do. If they were really in a dire state, and apparently they reached that dire state because Final Fantasy VII remake, and their risk, I would at least give Square their risk for they tried Bravely Default, even though it was a new IP and it basically called back to the RPGs of old, so I give them there. But the thing about the risk is that the only scene that really did this and really made it their own was it had to be the indie scene, because they literally live with that risk all the time, with them having if their game succeeds or not, they don't have, they basically self-funding, they don't have a big company, or it might just be a one person with Toby Fox and Undertale and Phil Fish with Fizz. Oh my god, I didn't even play Fizz and mentioning that guy. And or just a small group of people who just happen to have the same interest, the two examples I could give are Yacht Club and Lab Zero. Lab Zero because they're responsible for Skull Girls, and they basically they signed up. They partnered with Konami to release it the first time around. It's still like Konami wanted, what was it? What got them into that situation with Konami? I think they want the lock of like animation for Philia, and Lab Zero didn't want any part of that, and that's why they ended up separating and basically came their own studio and re-released Skullgirls as second encore. So, and now they're like, because it's up to fans back them up on that, and that was one thing that was a successful Kickstarter story. Like the fans basically revived Skullgirls and whatnot, and then they did the same thing with Indivisible with as for the fans back, they took a risk there because they went from a fighting game series to work on an RPG series. And as far as Yacht Club games goes, they were former like WayForward employees. Am I right about that? So feel free to correct me, and they ended up making Shovel Knight, which is like homage to like the older platformers with like the simple plot and whatnot. And again, like they went on Kickstarter and like they took risks there with that, and they got their game funded. And it really showed. Both games showed. Like they were both were really good games, and like Dust 2, even though I don't know the story behind Dust, but that was also a good indie game that deserves way more praise. I can't believe they're making a sequel. Why didn't anybody tell me about that? And that's why I love the indie scene for that, because the thing with most of it was that they took their like influence from like existing like franchises and just made it their own, did their own take on it and made something like, yes, this drew influence from these series, but it's its own thing. So it basically comes out like as its own unique experience, even though like it pays homage to like these other things, and it's just been growing like ever since. And I'm like, the indie scene is more willing to take risks than like how the main companies are. I'm like, and the thing with most indie companies is that they don't really have the money to like do all that, and they basically have to go like on Kickstarter to fund their projects. But the major companies, they have like stuff to fall back on, but yet they refuse to do so, and that was just one thing that always got me. And I'm like, there's way more risk in like being like an indie dev than anything, because like how the success of your game is, like if it sells or not, or if you can even get it done. So there we go. But the one thing, and this is the main thing that got me into like got me way off my career in gaming. And let me be clear, all right, if you're going into like the field of gaming, I'm all for that, okay? I'm not gonna judge you for that. I'm not gonna tell you like you're wasting your time or like you could be doing something better. But I will say, at least have a plan B, because and here's my warning, and a warning that I freaking fear is inevitable at this point, and we're gonna experience another crash, guys. I feel it like coming so hard, and it freaking scares me. It scares me to no end that we're about to experience that age again, and I was fortunately not not there, wasn't there to experience the first game crash. Okay, that was, I wasn't part of it, and we all, like, people tell you, like, if you know your game history, you already know the gist of it. Like, because of ET, gaming basically died, and it was only like until Nintendo came with like the NES that gaming took back off to the market, and nowadays we're going to that exact same route. We're going to crash because of this whole mobile games are the future bullshit, and I don't even know where they thought that. Like, I get that you can spend like less resources. It takes like less resources to make a mobile game for like smartphones and whatnot, and that you could literally make like a full-fledged game like you would on a console on a smartphone. But I don't think it's the future. I'm like, yes, it's easier to make and port, but it's no. Like, I get Japan. It's like is there because because Japan used to be handhelds until like now they're smartphones, and we're the same way. Like, basically, except for us, what it is more smartphones for us than handhelds now. But it really says a lot when a company like Capcom finally releases like a new Breath of Fire game, only for it to be on fucking mobile of all things, and that was a low blow. That was really a low blow, and I was praying to God they didn't do the same thing with Beautiful Joe, like, and put him on a smartphone. I could just see it now. They probably are gonna do that shit eventually. Yeah, and then Square did the same thing with The World Ends With You. They basically ported it for ISO, and because they teased it, like, oh, here you go, isn't that wonderful? Like, The World Ends With You, it's like a teaser for that, and then only for it to be like a remake, and then like a teaser image at the end. So, and then we got the DLC bullshit. That's another thing that's I feel it's only gonna get worse, because like I said earlier, like, it's either you get it and like it's either one of those DLCs where you're better off without it, like you can enjoy the game without it, or you need it for the full experience. Like, so far, like, Nintendo has done DLC right, because with Nintendo you get like a full experience for the game, and then you buy the DLC to like add to it. Case in point, Mario Kart 8 and Hyrule Warriors and Smash 4. Like, all three games you get like a complete experience for, and you add DLC, and you get DLC to add to that. And Hyrule Warriors especially. Okay, let me just single Hyrule Warriors out for that, because there's a lot to do in Hyrule fucking Warriors, especially the DLC maps. But nowadays it's just you getting this or you're missing out. And do I need to let's go Storm 4 again. You basically pre-order DLC. If you did not pre-order that game, you were not getting Boruto or Sarada at all. And the one before that, Xenoburst. You didn't get the Day 1 edition. You didn't get Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And no, he's not DLC. You just, he's gone. You just don't got him. Like, at all. No Dragon Ball Wish. Nothing at all. Just no Vegeta. And that was really bothered me with how they're treating DLC, and also Season Pass. That too. Let's talk about that. You only get this Team Jutsu with the Season Pass. I'm like, everything that should have been in the game ended up being DLC, and for stupid reasons. And then they have the nerve to be like, you go and get this DLC. You go and get this if like you have this and you bought this, and it's really annoying. And it got worse with the pre-order bonuses. I already did that, but would just if you don't get pre-order this game, you don't get this, and it just lost forever. And it was I don't, I don't just oh my god. Then we got games coming out half finished and have like the hype for it, only for it to be disappointed and not meet expectation. Then it's really worrying at me right now where we're going from there, because so many companies have high expectations of like how much their game would sell, because like brand name, brand recognition, and how the people wanted this said game and whatnot. And I'm just like, you just know. And they make really high expectation numbers. I'm looking at you, Square, Capcom, and they be all surprised when it doesn't meet that expectation. And like I said, like, companies just aren't passionate about anything anymore. Like, they're just at like a standstill. They just want to stay with the status quo. Like, this franchise sells, so I'm gonna keep releasing games in this franchise. Like, I won't take a risk. I won't introduce like a new franchise and have this to fall back on. And even when, like I said, where other companies have like other series to fall back on, they don't use those. They use the ones that's like are guaranteed sales, and I'm like, it gets annoying. Like, people are just gonna get tired of it, and then you just have people with bad business practices. Like, you think, I know some people will just accept it at face value. I'm like, and not question it, but I'm like, I can't do that anymore. I'm like, I know too much. And because we live in an age where we can literally track a game's development cycle and like everything, like dev motives, how their vision, like how they want this game to be, how they intended it to be, but couldn't do this because budget restraints, like time constraints. And another thing that really sold me off was of like doing anything like gaming wise was it was, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a period where like a lot of people were just leaving, and I'm talking about like original creators, like the dude behind Gears of War left, Bioshock's characters are gone, like their original creators are gone, and then when I read Sakurai's, like, during the Smash 4 development, where like Sakurai got injured, like his hand was messed up, and he was just kept trying to work on that game and taking time away from his family, and it was really straining on him to work on the game to get like to like what it is now. And I'm like, and that's how driven he was, how passionate he was about making the game as best he could, because Sakurai's a perfectionist. Anybody will tell you that. Look at Kid Icarus, like Kid Icarus Uprising, any of his other games, they will tell you that. And he has a bit of an ego. He doesn't like to do sequels. That's also something he'll tell you. But that was just for me, that was just like a bigger turnoff. I'm like, I can't do that. Alright? I'm gonna be honest with you. Not because I don't have like the passion and drive, but because, and there's like a genuine fear. Well, like, I will literally admit it, and it's just something that keeps plaguing me, and I'm like, and parts of me just want to be like, it's just part of growing up. And I'm like, the thing with me was like, if I got into gaming, I had this fear, I was just gonna be disinterested in it after a while. I'm just gonna lose my passion about it because of how it's heading now, and that's how I am feeling right now. I'm really starting. It's really hard to find enjoyment in something that you love when you know it's going in a bad direction, and and that it could possibly only get worse from there, and it's just one of those things, like you should want to avoid like all the pressures being like on you, because like Ono got sick too. He was another story of like what happens when you overwork yourself, and he's the only guy from Capcom that's still left with his original franchise because everybody else left. Like they formed Platinum's the game, so yeah, that's another story. And I don't know what else to say about that, because I really, really want game to like be there for like when I eventually have kids and I can just sit down and play a game with my kid and just, have a good time. And I fear I may not have that, like, because I'm just either gonna grow out of it or it's just not gonna be here. And I'm kind of leaning towards like, I felt like that one, the second option, like way back in like 2010, would like after Naruto came out, I just felt like that was where it really hit me, like where because like afterwards in 2011, like when I did the video when I talked about me getting Skyward Sword, Final Fantasy 13 2, and Soul Calibur 5, and I was so excited for those, and I just got so disinterested like so fast, and I'm like, oh, I guess I really did outgrow, because that's what I felt like. I just lost interested in, because I did not touch Skyward Sword for like, oh fucking wow, oh my god. It wasn't until like my girlfriend at the time, like she literally forced me to play that game, and because I didn't touch it, I didn't even get past the first dungeon. I'm like, and I basically told her the exact same thing. I'm like, I'm disinterested. I'm like, I don't. It's like I'm losing my passion for this, and it's still there, like my passion for anime, but it's not as strong as it was before, because like I said, the anime industry has its own problems too. So yeah, they basically go hand to hand with them. That's for another time. I'm not going to that, but that's just the video, guys. Sorry if I went on for like 30 good minutes and whatnot, but that's my take on gaming right now and why I wouldn't get into it. Why, you know who you are. If you're watching this video, I'm not telling you to change your. You basically stayed there for like 4 years for this, so I'm not gonna talk you out of that, you stubborn fool. So and I was also like working with like back in my books when I was working at the bookstore, like back in 2014 in parts of 15, I was basically like the people I was working with, they basically was like they planned on making a game, and I basically told my boss like of what I felt now, like I'm really like it's like hard out here, it's very hard to get to like the gaming industry, and if you do, you have like it's a flight risk, like it really is. But to those two who I know are making their game, I hope they make it, because like they're cool people. I was friends with them, and I'm enjoying my time with them, so I hope for the best. And same for you, you stubborn bear. So yeah, done here. And what do you guys think? Are we going to experience a crash? Because I feel like we're going to experience a crash. Hell, even Review Check USA said we're probably going to get another goddamn crash because of where we're heading. And your take on the game industry. Like, do you want to take a shot at it? And if so, what would you do? And ways you can improve it. So, done here, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep it classy. My Ask Yourself on XFM. Seriously, that thing is empty, and I'm not lonely enough to ask myself questions. If I want to do that, I'll load up me Tomo. Add me on there too, by the way. But yeah. Follow me on Twitter because, again, like, random people have been following me on there. I got followed by like a metal band, a cookbook, and a Dark Souls 3 sponsor. And it's I don't even play Dark Souls, and it's weird. I'm just getting the video here. Hopefully things get better. But like the dude from Brave Default says, it only gets worse from here. Only gets worse from here. Till next time, guys.